Okay, so I'm trying to get hold of Gwenda. I've just been messaging her and waiting for her to respond, so we'll do Gwenda a little bit later. But our next guest is drumroll. Yay! Without further ado, take it away.
All right. So, my presentation today is called, well, let's actually start with this. Do we all know, I'm sure we all know what WTF stands for, yeah? Yeah. So, my presentation is called WTF is Creating Your Reality. And the reason why I say this is because I look back at my life and I realize that, you know, there were so many things that I've had to overcome. Eating disorders, drugs, bullying, like you name it, it was just flung at me. And as a younger person, I used to think, like, why is this happening to me? What have I done to deserve this? I was so insecure. I was so scared. I was so full of fear. And at the end of the day, I actually now look back and go, well, I just attracted all that crap. And I did it through the WTF, which is your words, your thoughts, and your feelings. Because the second you speak out words, or you think certain thoughts, or you have certain feelings, you're putting out a vibrational energy, which then begins to draw in experience into your reality. So I really do believe that WTF does create your reality. And it's interesting that we were talking about head and then heart and what's in the middle, the words, right? So the words that you're speaking will create a thought, or the thoughts that you're having will create the words, which will then in turn create a feeling. And I believe that there are only really two feelings in the world. There's good ones and there's bad ones. You know, there's love, there's, you know, happiness, joy, all of those good feelings. And then there's the bad ones, you know, the depression, the anxiety, the fear, all of those sorts of things. So those two particular feelings, I believe, are an absolute imperative part to understanding and creating your reality. Because if you are attracting a certain negative thing, it's because you're actually in a negative vibrational frequency at that time. Or alternatively, if you're attracting good things into your life, it's because you're having good thoughts, you're probably speaking good words, so you're having good feelings, so you're actually drawing in that energetic, oh, what did I just draw in then? Something fell on the roof. But you're bringing in that vibration, you're drawing that stuff into you. And so I did a lot of internal work after, you know, so many different changes that occurred throughout my life. And I looked back at life and I went, why did all that shitty stuff happen to me? And I really looked deep into it. And it was the way that I thought, it was the words that I spoke, and it was the feelings that I felt. Because when I spoke things about, you know, situations, it was like, oh, that person's such an idiot, or rah, 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 rah. Or, you know, I would think, oh, you're such an idiot, Jay, you know, why can't you just do this right? Or, you know, you'd feel like, you know, if you're getting bullied, obviously, well, you're obviously not going to feel very great inside, are you? Because people are actually, you know, using their power over you to make yourself feel lesser than. So I really looked at these words, these thoughts, and these feelings, and I started analyzing that was the old way that I used to live. Was I was so caught up in the opposite side of the spectrum of what I really wanted to create, which was the negativity, the bad words, the bad thoughts, and the bad feelings. And so then I started looking at that and I went, well, now it's time to change that stuff. It's really time to change, because I got to a point where I was so low, I just didn't want to be here anymore. I was like, I need to check out and get the hell out of this planet, because I don't want to be here anymore. And that's a really hard place to be in. And I'm sure a lot of people have gotten into those sorts of states before and felt that really low vibrational point. But I also feel that some people, like myself, have to get to that low vibrational point to be able to see what it is that they need to do, what it is that they need to change, to then pivot and turn it the opposite way around. And so I really encourage people now to be very conscious about the thoughts that they have and the words that they speak which in turn create the feelings that we feel. We've all had those times where we've woken up in the morning, we've gotten out of bed, we've stubbed our toe, we've burnt our toast, our coffee tastes like shit, we hit our head when we're getting in the car, and it's one thing after another. And the reason why this happens to us is because of our words, our thoughts, our feelings, because we're constantly attracting and we're bringing those things in because it's like you hit your toe, you expect the day is going to be shit, and the next thing it's one thing after another, after another, after another. And the only way to turn around and change this is to literally break the state, break the cycle, break the negativity, stop the negative thoughts, stop the negative words, which then in turn changes your point of attraction because your energy, vibration, and your feelings are changing. Do we all get that?
Yeah.
We all get that in the room. Do you guys out there get that? Yes. Awesome. So, I am at a pretty interesting part of my life now where I've done everything that I really, really wanted to do. I've had really successful jobs. I've had great careers. I've had amazing friendships and relationships, but I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm like, what's next? Where am I off to next? And it's funny that when you get to a place where you're not really sure where you're going next, that old way of thinking, that old way of speaking, and that old way of feeling can start creeping back in because you're not creating, you're not manifesting what it is that you actually really want in your life, or you're not bringing this point of attraction into your life because you suddenly feel a little bit stopped and blocked and lost and not really sure if you're going on the right path. You know, is this what I'm doing right in this very moment? Is this what I really want to be doing? Is this going to be, you know, serving people? Are people going to actually like what it is that I do? So you start questioning these things in your mind, and that's where the doubt comes in, and that's where the old behaviors and the old thought process start coming back in again. So it's time to stop, to ground, to breathe, and to connect. And as soon as we do that, we connect with the source, we connect with the earth, and we connect with everything else around us. And you know what? It was only probably a few weeks or so ago that I really did that work. I went into nature, I grounded myself, I did a lot of breath work, and I went, okay, where am I going now? I've had all this success, and it was the old way of success, let me tell you. It was, you know, working for the corporations. I was working for a specific company where, you know, I got the opportunity to go and start a care business on the north side of Brisbane. And I did very, very well in a really short space of time. And then one day my boss came in and asked me to do something completely unethical and illegal. And my whole world fell down. It crumbled underneath me because I don't know about you guys, but one of my biggest values is actually honesty and integrity. And I'll tell you what they wanted me to do. They wanted me to forge in the system visits so that they could claim more government funding because they hadn't spent it, right? Oh, shock horror. Jamie's like, no, that doesn't happen, does it? So, me being the honest, integral person that I was thinking, I've worked for like 8 years to get to this top level position, and now this has happened. So I immediately went on stress leave and took 2 weeks off of work, and I sat there in this space of going, what am I going to do? I can't go back and work for these people. They're like the devil. That's what I thought. How can I work for these people? They are just manipulating the system. They were all driving around in sports cars. 0 of them had any qualifications other than being a teacher. The CEO of the company hired her sister and her husband to be in the business. The accounts manager was also another friend, and I'm almost certain there were 2 sets of books for you guys, you know, like just complete and utter dodge. And I went, I can't go back and work for these a-holes. I just can't do it. So I decided to quit. But what was funny is that the heart-centered person that I am brought in all the clients. And the heart-centered person that I am brought in all of the staff. So when I walked out the door, guess what? Half of the people went, stuff you, I'm not with this business because of them. I came because of Jay. And that gave me so much confidence because I walked out of that business and overnight they all followed. So I all of a sudden then was in control of a community aged care business that literally happened overnight, but it was because of the relationships that I'd built with the staff, with the clients. And I now know in this very moment right now that that was all planned and all meant to happen, because it gave me self-confidence that I'd never had before. It made me understand my value as a person and that people do actually love who I am. And it really made me understand that we all have the power within us to do absolutely anything we choose. And as long as we trust in the process and we are conscious of the words and the thoughts and feelings that we are using every single day, we have the power to change. We have the power to change our lives, and we have the power to change the lives of those around us. So, my challenge to you, if you think that you're struggling with what it is that you want to do, is to start looking at your words, your thoughts, and your feelings. And people go to me, but how do you change that? Like, how do you actually change that? And it's like, well, it's pretty easy to change your words, because you could say, you could say, I can't do something. And it's very easy to change the word and go, well, I haven't done it, but I can try, or I haven't done it, but I could do it. So it's very easy to change those words. And that's the first place that I started, was my words, because it's not always easy to change the way you think. Because sometimes that stuff's really, really deeply ingrained in us. Like, you know, and I'm not going to blame anyone, but, you know, people in social situations or social circles, they may say certain things, and those certain things actually, you know, come and affect you because you feel as though that they're speaking towards you, or that they're talking about you. So yeah, the mind stuff can be difficult to change, but if you start with the words, you will then start to think better. And then also, it can sometimes be hard to change feelings, because if you're having a really low day, it might be quite hard for you to turn around and go, oh, well, let's just fake it and just, oh, I'm having such a great day. You know what I mean? So it's really important for you to turn around and just watch those words, your thoughts, and your feelings, because I honestly believe that they have a very strong, powerful point of attraction, and they are responsible for creating what is going on in our reality. So that is all. I would like to thank you all so much, very much, for listening.
Short and sweet there, Jay. That's unlike you.
I've actually got a really, really dry throat. I need some water. And I didn't bring one.
Does anybody have any questions?
It's interesting when you said about where I think I'm going. The thing that's panned out most of my life at this point is where I thought I was going, highly unlikely where I'm bound.
Yeah. And that's where I feel I am right now, is that it's like I always thought I was heading in this direction, and now I'm like, hang on, I don't think that's my direction. Or thank you.
Yeah, so when we let go.
Yeah.
That things come through that every that's come through when I let go.
That's it. Release. Let it flow.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know what's there. I think I've asked coaches over the years, like, when you feel like you've met all the goals or done all the things you want to do in life, well, how do you know what's next? Like, how do you choose what's next? Just like saying, oh, well, what's up on the top of that roof? None of us know. But if we all climb up there could be something really awesome that we've never done before.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like we need to go to the next level in the game. You know, like if you're in Donkey Kong, we've conquered that level, and then we're in level 2 and we're jumping over different barrels or having a fight with someone else to get to the next thing that looks exciting over there.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
It's what shows up. Who we meet.
Now for the journey.
It's the opportunities we open to that maybe we wouldn't have noticed before if that shit didn't happen.
Acknowledging yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then acknowledging within yourself to know that you don't want that anymore, to change those things that you don't no longer serve you, to then step into the reality that you want to actually be a part of, and 1, 2, that who you want to be.